Hi,
Hey Jess, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Or maybe just put it down. Hold on, let me adjust. Let me adjust real quick here. Just
Oh, look at that amazing, massive beauty blender next to you.
well, you can never have too many or too big of one.
Will you look at it?
Just because when the
All the comments.
comment you can't see anything. So. Anyway,
Cool.
hi, how are you today?
Hi,
Good to
we're
see
here.
you.
Internet is working. That's all we can really hope for these days, huh?
It's a trick pony. Some days it's good, other days, it just doesn't want to cooperate. Today we have a good day.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Rea Ann.
Of course. Thank you for having me. It's so much fun.
Yeah,
Thank you for my Anne Klein jacket.
it looks incredible.
It's very, very beautiful. A nice, beautiful jersey. I'm loving the shoulders. I'm going to be wearing this one a lot. I can dress it up in many different ways.
Oh yeah.
I love it. I'm
to the
cut off,
top.
but I'm in my Anne Klein too, with my turtleneck under because it's freezing in LA this week. I'm really excited to sit down with you because you are solely responsible for my face looking, looking okay every day. So, God bless.
Well, thank you for that.
Seriously,
Oh my God.
I'm a big fan.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, you look great. Your complexion is perfect.
Thank you. I mean, to be completely honest, I'm pretty terrible at doing my makeup, so you've made it very easy. And for that, I appreciate you endlessly.
Well, you're so welcome. It is my goal to demystify and modernize and make makeup fun and easy. It shouldn't be complicated. It shouldn't be difficult. It should be, it should be fun to do.
Exactly. Well, I see a lot of people are starting to tune in. So for anyone that is tuning in for the first time today, thank you so much for joining us. And if I'm new to you, my name is Jessie Rubenstein, and I am Anne Klein's granddaughter. We started this series called Women Who Do to highlight amazing women who are leading the conversation today, like Rea Ann, and uphold my grandmother's legacy because she was a empowered, incredible, strong woman, and her message has never resonated more. So excited to sit down today. I have a lot of questions for you, so let's get to it.
Okay, let's do it.
Perfect. So tell us more for all the Anne Klein followers out there. I know a lot of the Beautyblender fans that are watching right now are familiar with your story, but could you share a little bit more about how you went from makeup artist into entrepreneur? What did that journey look like? What was the best part of the journey? What were the bumps in the road? Share it all.
Okay. Woo, big question. Okay, so yes, I am a professional makeup artist. I have over 30 years of makeup experience under my belt in film and television. Started off in music video, went on to commercials, editorial. It was the MTV generation, so it was a lot of music videos, a lot of classics. Went on to film and television. I'm a single parent. Well, I was, not anymore. But when I was first starting out, I was single with my daughter, Erica. And, she was really my motivation to try to take my career as far as I could take it. And over the course of many years, I, went from one medium to another and eventually became a member of my local 706, which is my beloved makeup union here in LA. And I started department heading different TV shows, and I got an opportunity to department head the show called Girlfriends. I don't know if you know it, Jessie. It's
Yeah.
a little before your time, I think, but it's still
No, I know it. I know it.
And it stars Tracy Ellis Ross. We love her so much. And the show is about four young, up and coming, career-minded Black women, all trying to just find their way in the world while looking natural and beautiful. But the thing about this show was that it was shot in high definition, which now everybody, I mean, we're in high definition right now, but before, everybody that was on TV or in film was shot on film, 35 millimeter film, and makeup looked much different. The application techniques were different. So when I got this job, I got the opportunity to try to create, solutions for challenges in makeup for high definition. And that's really where Beautyblender was born. And I tried a lot of different techniques to make makeup look very natural, because suddenly high definition, you could see makeup a lot. So the old ways of applying a lot of makeup, because you were shooting film, were antiquated now because you saw everything. So Beautyblender allowed me to create very natural looks. And I really thought I had, stumbled across something that other makeup artists would really be able to take advantage of. So I started thinking of ways to manufacture, like, how can I make these little sponges like this right here, this little pink egg shake sponge. How can I make it in bulk and be able to help out my other makeup artist peers that were going to have the same challenges? I never thought that, we would be a global Sephora partner and we would be selling beauty blenders around the world. We sell like 17 a minute around the world. And I mean, that is just something that I could not have planned. But here we are. The journey has been amazing. It's been, a Wharton School of Business course in, brand building for me. I did not go to the Wharton School of Business. I learned on the job. I am a single mother makeup artist that just, had a passion, and my motivation, like I said, was, wanting to provide for my daughter.
Wow, that's incredible. She's a lucky girl that her mom is a makeup artist.
Well, I'm lucky too.
That's amazing. And where did you kind of start to, I love that you kind of started and it was primarily to just be better at your job and help your peers, and it evolved into so much more. Like, was there a point when that happened and you saw it was more like everyday consumers using Beautyblender? Like, how was that transition?
Right. So, I had a plan, because as a makeup artist shooting in Hollywood and really around the United States, we would buy products from professional outlets. We wouldn't go to like a Sephora to buy makeup for production. So I knew that my best opportunity was to sell my product to professional stores where other makeup artists were going to purchase their products, because of course I thought they were the only ones that would know what a beauty blender was. But I soon started to get inquiries from small boutiques, and this one in particular came in from Limited Brands, which I don't know if any of you guys know what Limited Brands is, but it's the mothership, the mother company to like Sephora, Bed Bath & Beyond. I'm not Sephora, sorry. Bed Bath & Beyond, Bath and Body Works, is that right?
Yeah.
And most importantly, Victoria's Secret, because that was the connection, because Beautyblender was pink, Victoria's Secret was doing all that pink stuff. So they had reached out to me and asked if I was interested in retailing with them. So they were actually my first retailer. Unfortunately, that relationship was really short-lived, not for any fault of my own, but the fact that they started to changed their philosophy, and they stopped carrying outside brands and they started branding everything Victoria's Secret at that time. But it really gave me the motivation and the confidence to know that, hey, I think I have something that I can take to the retail market. And so what I did was I went back to my professional stores and I asked the managers of those stores, who are your favorite sales reps for your products? Because I knew enough to know that all the products that were in these stores were represented by different individuals that would come in and sell to the store. And so I wanted to know, were they independent reps? Were they people that represented a group of brands, or did they work exclusively with a brand? And, I was so lucky as an entrepreneur and someone just starting out in business that I had friends like I did at these stores, because they really taught me that there's a variety of ways that you can enter a retail market. And so they gave me a couple names of some, people that represented multiple brands, and I met with them and they believed in my product, and kind of like the rest is history. I mean, there's so much there, but that's really how I got started into the retail market. And then eventually
Has
Sephora
it,
came calling. And then when Sephora calls, you know, it's all over. You're good.
game over. Yeah,
Game over.
exactly. That's incredible. Um, so I thought it was really interesting that you started more so with like a fashion background and then pivoted directions. And I find that with so many people, like I went to school for merchandising and buying and was doing Excel spreadsheets all day. And now I work in marketing. So I feel like you never end up doing what you think you're going to do. How did that transition kind of, what happened there?
Yeah, it's funny, right? They say you make plans and God laughs, right? So that's kind of what happened to
Exactly.
me too. Yeah, I mean, out of high school, I went to FIDM. I really thought that I wanted to be a fashion designer. But you know, that's what these first years of college are really good for, right? To teach you the things that you think you may want to do. Maybe you do actually want them, but maybe you don't. And for me, when I went to FIDM, I loved fashion. And I loved everything about the fashion industry, from everything from designing to the merchandising to the visual merchandising, everything about it I loved. But what I didn't love was pattern making and grading. I mean, it was like that was something to me. I thought, well, if I'm going to be a fashion designer, I'm going to have someone to do that for me. I don't really need to do that. And that's kind of like an arrogant and naive way if you're really a fashion designer. Like you need to know every aspect of what you're doing, right? So I realized quickly, and it was through the help of one of my professors at the school, that really where my aptitude was and what I really loved was the creativity and the artistic part, the illustration of fashion. So I started focusing on fashion illustration as opposed to actual design. And with that, I was able to really embrace the creative part and the artistic part of fashion design. And at the same time, you know, I didn't come from a wealthy family, very working class. My mother was a waitress, my father was a mechanic, and, you know, they didn't have a lot of extra money to give to me. So I had to get a job. So I figured a way to kind of support my artistry in school was to see if I could get a job at a makeup counter somewhere in a department store, very entry level. And of course I couldn't because I didn't have any experience, but I did become a perfume model. And I don't know if you know what a perfume model is, but they would walk around on the different floors of the department store and, like, you know, introduce you to a new fragrance that was being launched and try to spray you with it or something. I mean, it really is an exercise in humility and toughening your skin, because if you ever don't want to make friends, become a perfume model. The minute you want to spray something on, they like walk away from. So I thought, oh my God, this really sucks. Like, I really just, you know, I want to connect with people. I want to do my artistry. So while I'm strolling, you know, the floors of these department stores being rejected by everybody, I ended up making friends with the girls in the cosmetic department. And a couple of them I knew would go from store to store. They didn't really stay in one place. And I thought that was really interesting. You know, I never really, especially as, I mean, it's a little bit different now at my age, but when I was younger, I just couldn't imagine just being in the same place every day. It just didn't seem fun to me. So doing makeup, being artistic, going to a different place every day, these were the kind of things that really appealed to me. So I kind of started just, you know, figuring out how I could get that kind of job. And luckily, one of them was nice enough to introduce me to someone that was in a position to try me out. And I tell people I kind of faked it till I made it. You know, I said I'm a makeup artist, and she believed me. And I actually did a really great job. And I actually learned some skills that really helped me later on as a brand founder to understand what it means to have, you know, my employees have to go out into the retail market and upsell product and do makeup and talk about makeup and try to, you know, problem solve and find beauty solutions for, you know, random customers walking around. So you never know, you know, nothing is for nothing, you know, you never know why you learn certain things. And at the time, you know, I never thought in a million years that that experience would be so valuable to me now, but it is.
That's an incredible story. From all of your experiences, what would you say is like the motto that you've taken from where you are now?
Oh, Well, we said one already, you know, you make plans and God laughs, right? So I just learned
That's
to
a good
go.
one.
Yeah, I mean, I really do. I mean, it's a saying, right? I didn't make it up. Of course, you've heard that before, but it's such a like leveling saying, because it's like you have all these expectations, right, in life, and we're taught to plan, and we should plan. I'm not saying you shouldn't plan. Like, I am a big planner, but I'm very understanding about the things I can't control anymore. And you know, there's certain things that in life you just are not going to be able to control, and you have to be okay with it. So you know, it's almost a lesson that I think you get from whatever your spiritual belief is. I say God, but it's like, you know, to learn how to just roll with the punches, to go with the flow, you know, but have a plan, you know, because there is that other saying that God helps those who help themselves. So you have to have a plan. And by the way, I'm not a crazy fanatic religious person either. I don't know why I play out all these like God sayings, but it's true.
No, it's the old ones that are usually the most, that hold the most truth. It's true.
If they stick around, it must be because they're true, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And for all of our viewers that are watching right now, what is a piece of advice for someone that's trying to either like pivot directions, or trying to kind of like start their own thing, whether that's, you know, a business or a new direction?
Yeah, I mean that's God, that's such a great question, and it's so different for so many people, right? But I think that some of the smartest advice I could give is to just really be open-minded and know that you don't need to know everything to be successful. I think the learning process in that journey is so important. And sometimes I feel like a lot of people put limitations on themselves because they don't feel like they know enough, or they're not an expert. And, you know, understand that you need to learn everything about whatever you're trying to do, but you don't have to enter being an expert. You can enter with a little bit of information and a lot of passion and an openness to learn, and have the most fantastic journey. If you refuse to be um, continuously, or like, how do I say, if you refuse to really internalize disappointment, because you're going to be disappointed. You know, there's no straight line in this entrepreneurial journey. You go up, you go down, you have a lot of wins, but then you have some losses, but those losses are always there to teach you something. And so you have to really be open to understanding what the lesson is whenever it is you feel like you've, you know, not accomplished a goal that day, or you weren't able to close a deal, or you know, you couldn't get somebody on board with what your idea is. That just means you haven't met the right person. That doesn't mean stop. That means meet more people, you know.
I love that. Yeah, I think these are a lot of questions I'll always come back and ask. And it's so incredible how oftentimes your entire journey was due to like one person, one thing they said to you, one person they introduced you to, and how being open to those experiences and meeting those people can be like the path to where you are today.
Absolutely. I mean, positivity and support can be so inspiring to somebody on a journey. You know, sometimes it's just a couple little words of support that can keep you going for the next month, you know, or whatever it is. Positivity is
Yeah.
very powerful. It's a superpower.
Um, and Rea Ann, can you tell us a little about, I always find this like so fascinating. I ask this to people all the time, is how, like, walk us through your day. I'm always fascinated by how, especially entrepreneurs, like what their morning looks like. How early do you wake up? Like, what's your women who do story?
Yeah, so that's crazy. I have this weird ability, no matter where I'm at in the world, and I don't need to adjust to the time zone. I wake up at like 6:45 every morning wherever I'm at, no matter when
Me
I go.
too.
It's so crazy. It's
I'm the
just,
same.
you know, it's this internal clock that seems to know I've changed time zones. You know, it's like, it's crazy. So my day consists of what I do is you know, I kind of like, I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but like I kind of wake up before I actually wake up. Like I feel like, oh, I think I'm awake. And I'm like, I lay there for a few minutes and like, oh, I am awake. And then I kind of like try to see if I need to go back to sleep. And I go, no, I'm awake. I'm not going back to sleep. So then I, I hate to admit this. I wish I was a lot more esoteric and deeper, but the first thing I grab is my phone. I'm sorry. It's, you know, it truly is an addiction. But, you know, I am bicoastal and I live on two different time zones, usually California and then the East Coast. I currently live in Pennsylvania, and I have for many years, but my son was going to school. Well, now he's at Howard. He goes to Howard University in DC. But there was a time when he was in high school and going to school that I was really like going back and forth a lot. So what I do is I wake up because generally speaking, if I'm in California, there's 3 hours of emails that have transcribed onto my phone before I wake up. So I generally just like look through all of that. Then I'll look at just, you know, I'll read the newspaper on my phone or whatever. I'll spend like half an hour, 40 minutes just like laying there, waking up. I have to take a thyroid pill every day because I have a thyroid condition and I can't really eat or drink anything for an hour. So I take my pill first thing and then I do all of this. Then I get so excited because I go to bed at night dreaming about my coffee in the morning. Because I love my first morning coffee. Me and my husband, we love to get up and have this coffee. And so I make my coffee in the morning and I go sit down at my kitchen table and I continue to look at my phone. You guys, I'm not proud of this, but this is life, okay? And I look at my phone and I look at all my emails and then I'll slip into my social media, which is really even like more I'm not proud about. But listen, we're all like, we're on IG Live right now, for Christ's sakes. So I
You're
look at my
to a social media business owner, so you're in a safe space here.
Yeah, I mean it's a part of life. It's my business. I have to do it. So that's what I tell my husband when he's like, "You're on Instagram again." I'm like, "I'm working. So leave me alone." So I look at Instagram, spy on my kids. I see what they're doing, what they've been up to. And then, you know, then I go and I change my clothes and brush my teeth and get ready for the day. And I have to say the very first thing I do every day is work out. Because I've learned over the course of so many years, if I don't get up and move first thing in the morning, the day gets away from me. I get bombarded by so many different requests and pulled in so many different directions that by the time the day is done, I am done. Like, I'm not going to work out for an hour. I just need to like get flat, lay down, watch TV, like decompress for a minute. And once that happens, there's no way I'm getting up to go work out. So I do the workout first thing in the morning. And then I usually schedule that. I schedule an hour to an hour and a half. And then after that, I get to work. I either go to my office, you know, during COVID and this whole quarantining, of course, I didn't go to an office. I'm in my office right now. I'm very happy. We are coming back to the office a little bit. But, you know, we weren't. So I was at home. So I would go into my room that I call my home office and I would just start my day with my schedule. You know, I have a series of regular calls every week with my team. I have executive call meetings, I have dashboard call meetings, I have marketing meetings, I have product development meetings, I have social media meetings. Then I have the meetings with people outside of my company that I'm meeting for a variety of reasons. So I spend a lot of time on Zoom, on phone calls, emailing, texting, and I do that for hours.
Sounds like a lot of socializing.
It's a lot of words. It's a lot of words every day. But you know what? I love it. You know, I think about it sometimes and people, you know, ask me, well, how long are you going to do this? You know, and I don't know that I would ever do anything else. I love people. I love talking to people. I love problem solving and figuring things out. And that's what I spend a lot of time doing. So yeah, that's my day. And then pretty much what happens at around things start to fall off. So if I'm in California, my day starts to slow down around 2 o'clock because it's 5 o'clock on the East Coast. Now that doesn't mean like everybody that works for me, we don't ever work like a 9 to 5. Sometimes it's a 11 to 7, or it's like it's different depending on what everybody does. I truly believe in people managing their schedules the way they need to. I don't need you to clock in at a certain time and leave at a certain time. So, that's, I should distinguish that's different than like what happens in my warehouse, because the people that work in my warehouse and in assembly and that kind of stuff, they're guided by timelines, very different. And it's not because I want them to check in and check out or anything. No, their job success is actually linked to timelines. So they come in, they have to work a certain time. But when I'm talking about my daily team of creative people that I talk to, it's like, at 2 o'clock, everything kind of starts to shut down. And then I get the residual West Coast people that I end up dealing with till about 5 or 6. Mm-hmm. And, then it's time to figure out, like, what am I doing for dinner? Like, how am I going to feed people? What am I going to eat? I like to eat.
Do you love to cook? I'm the same. My husband does all the cooking. I'm pretty useless in that department. So,
I mean, listen, I am a fantastic cook.
That's one of us.
I love to actually cook. I do. What I don't like about cooking is the planning of the cooking, because I'm planning so many other things. It requires more planning and a trip to the supermarket. And actually, when I have time, like on the weekends, I like to do that. But during the week, it's very hard for me to do that. So my husband cooks too. I'm Postmates proficient, like so good on Postmates and Uber Eats and DoorDash. You see, I know all of them. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like, for me, it's kind of like been there, done that. Like I've raised 2 adult kids now and cooked for them and worked and did all of that. It's like, cooking is kind of like, it's fun when it's not required of you. And I feel like it was required of me for a long time. So when I cook now, I cook because I really get in the mood of doing it and I like it. Otherwise, I cook on my phone. I hate to say that. It's so bad.
No.
Sorry. I'm sorry, people. It's the truth.
I've gotten into like looking up recipes on TikTok, and they like make it so simple. That's the level. The 30-second recipe is my level of what I can handle.
That's amazing. But there's still, with that 30-minute recipe, there's still the cleanup.
That's what I was going to say. That's my thing.
There's still the cleanup. Can't avoid the cleanup.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, girl. I know.
That's the part. Like my kitchen is, I'm great at it's clean. It's crystal clean. But when my husband cooks, everything's like everywhere. And I feel like I'm spending an hour.
And honestly, it's stressing me out a little bit. Can I talk about how I think I have a little bit of like OCD? Like oh, my calf is cramping. It stresses me out. Like
that morning workout.
Seeing all of that. Yes, it's that workout. It's seeing all that mess, just thinking like, oh my God, I'm so damn tired right now. And I'm gonna have to clean up all that stuff. Like, oh man. Yeah, so I avoid all of that. See, I have learned stress management. And for me, stress management is not having to clean the kitchen.
Yes, I'm with you 100% on that. Well, Rea Ann, I want to get to some awesome questions that people have been sending in throughout our conversation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Busy asks, what the egg, like, how did you come up with the shape? And why hot pink?
So, okay, the shape. First of all, makeup artists for years have been cutting foam material into different shapes to accomplish a lot of different techniques. And so when I got that job on Girlfriends, and it was the first show being broadcast and shot in high definition, I was charged with the task of figuring out how to make makeups look really natural. And the best way that I was told to do it was airbrushing. And so I happen to be a beauty airbrusher. But the problem with airbrushing on a set is that you need electricity to do it. And a lot of times there's other recordings going on and you have that compressor going bop, 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 the sound of the airbrush going on. So you would have to wait until they say cut and then you'd be able to touch up. It's just not practical. Plus you'd have to move your actor off of set to wherever the airbrusher was. And if you ever, again, want to make enemies on a set, not necessarily in the department store, but if you want to make enemies on a set with your AD and your director, just move the actor off the set. Then you will get in trouble. So that was not going to work. So I needed to find a way to make the makeups look like they were airbrushed without using an airbrush. So I had been taking, in the union that I'm in, we have continued education where different makeup artists come in and teach about different techniques that they used on different movies and TV shows, and we share information. And I took this one class with this one makeup artist that was saying, this is what I do. I wet a sponge and then I do this and I do that. And I was like, you know what, if I cut the sponges, and I just started thinking about like how I could accomplish my challenge and do it, easily and not too technically. And I said, let me just try. So I started cutting these materials, and ultimately it ended up just being a beauty material sponge cut in an egg shape. Now, there were other makeup artists that were cutting egg-shaped materials with not beauty material, like different types of textures of foams to do different things. And I just took the two things and put it together, and found a material that was hydrophilic, and which means it absorbs the water, and the sponge kind of gets bigger and grows, which makes it softer. And just all of these things together just came together and became this product, this thing that I was hand cutting on set. And, the rest is history. I had to find out how to manufacture it, because there was a reason there were no edgeless sponges before, because they're very hard to cut. So that was a whole other journey in engineering sponge material. I feel like I'm a sponge scientist now, like, something that I never thought I would be, but. Yeah.
No, it's awesome. Like the corner, I feel like I was introduced to Beautyblender by a girlfriend. And the way you can just get in those crevices under your eye is like
that. Yeah.
Chef's kiss.
That's awesome.
All right, Rea Ann, I think we have time for one more question.
Okay.
Let's see. Jules asks, what is your favorite beauty products at the moment other than Beautyblender?
Oh, some of my favorite. Well,
I'm gonna seriously write this down right now as we talk.
And full disclaimer, you have to understand that my job right now is product development for my company, and we have now entered the cosmetic category. So we make foundation, we make concealer, we make primers. We just launched an amazing powder, all under the Bounce franchise. So you have to understand that
let's
I use my products
a little.
What's
your favorite other than the Beauty Blender itself? Like, which cosmetic product do you like?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I make my own cosmetics now, but I will say that I don't make everything. Like, I don't make eyeshadows. What I'm doing in complexion and in cosmetics right now is to create products that you pair together with a beauty blender. So like, I'm making the perfect cosmetics to use a beauty blender with. So I can tell you that I have some favorite lip products. Because we're all wearing masks now, right? So I love the Laneige lip mask. Oh my God, that stuff is so amazing. Comes in a little pot. My lips get so dry all the time, and I do a lot of talking all day, like we just talked about. So I love this product. I love the Charlotte Tilbury mascara because it's just a very, very high quality, very fine, beautiful, basic mascara that lifts and separates. And it just, like, there's so many mascaras that thicken and curl and clump and like there's so many things. Like I just want a basic, beautiful mascara. So I love my Charlotte Tilbury mascara. I love Charlotte. She's a genius. She makes amazing products. Love, 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 love you, Charlotte. Um, I love my Benefit brows. I love Benefit. I love the eyebrow products that I get from Benefit.
That's one that I use.
Yeah, I really do. I really love them. What else? I mean, I have to say I just patting myself on the back. I make a kick-ass concealer right now, which in COVID and in quarantine, like I'm not, wearing, today for you guys, I'm wearing foundation. But usually, on my days when I'm in the office just working, I just use concealer, and my concealer is amazing. Yeah, I mean, my complexion products I love. I mean, I'm just going to say I've made them to my specifications as a makeup artist that specialized in complexion for over 25 years. I know what works, and I made these amazing, beautiful products. So those are my products.
I conveniently recently ran out, so I'm gonna go buy it.
Maybe I can get you a little something.
Well, I would love that.
I mean, I did get my beautiful coat. I do love this coat.
Oh, perfect. I was actually saying the other day, I feel like I actually surprisingly see so many more people now because I'm on Zoom all day long.
Isn't it crazy?
More of my day used to be phone calls. Yeah.
I
crazy.
feel like
and it's
I
like
see
it doesn't
more people.
almost totally. And I feel like my face is now almost like my clothing because you can see from here up. So I could be wearing like, I guess, a shirt that's presentable, but your face is like really the center of all of your conversations these days. So I'm like in between calls, like layering on more powder and foundation and
it's so
wearing more makeup, honestly, than I ever have been.
We all have Zoom faces now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But Rea Ann, thank you very much for joining us today. It was incredible talking to you.
Oh, thank you. It was so nice talking to you too. What an honor for you to ask me. I love your grandmother. I've been loving her clothes for generations now, and congratulations on your podcast and what you're doing to keep the family going. I love it.
Thank you. No, she would have, I wish she could watch all of these videos. She would have loved it and loved you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you again for being here. And offline, I have to send you this hysterical TikTok someone sent me today about beauty. So
I love it. Please do. Please do.
I will.
Okay.
All right. Thank you guys all for tuning in. For more on Women Who Do, make sure you're following Anne Klein Official on Instagram and Anne Klein on Facebook. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you again, Rea Ann. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.